Hello, my dear friends. All praises to the Most High. May Yahuwah lives, all is well. Right? I come only to bring you a short message. So enjoy the rain and shit. Sorry, excuse me. I give you this message from Jubilees, chapter 23, verses 11 through 32. And just a small comment. They got us like kings in a bunch of cages. Okay, that's all I want to say. They got us like kings and cages in here, man. Dudes gets really thinking. Okay, let me read to you Jubilees, chapter 23, verses 11 through 32. And all the generations which shall arise from this great time unto the day of great judgment shall grow old quickly before they complete 2 jubilees, and their knowledge shall forsake them by reason of their old age, and all of their knowledge shall vanish away. And in those days, if a man live a jubilee and a half of years, they shall say regarding him, he has lived long, and the greater part of his days are pain and tribulation, and there is no peace. I'm going to pause right there. Jubilees 12, where it says, and in those days, if a man live a jubilee and a half of years, they shall say regarding him, he has lived long. A jubilee, I believe, is 70 years. 7. So, if a dude lives 70 years old, they're going to say he's lived long. Just, he hasn't even completed his jubilee yet. They're going to say he lived long. And dudes used to live many jubilees, okay? And then they're gonna say the greater part of his days are pain and sorrow, man. That's the last days we living in. Verse 13. For calamity falls on calamity, and wound on wound, and tribulation on tribulation, and evil report on evil report, and illness on illness, and all evil judgments such as these, one with another, illness and overthrow, and snow and frost and ice and fever and chills and torpor. Torpor means a state of physical or mental inactivity, such as lethargy, right? So torpor is like mental or physical. You just laziness, but it's more of a sickness. It runs deep to your bones. Okay, give me a moment. And famine, and death, and sword, and captivity, and all kinds of calamities and pains. 14. And all these shall come upon an evil generation, which shall transgress on the earth. Their works are uncleanness and fornication, and pollution and abominations. Then they shall say, the days of the forefathers were many, even unto 1,000 years, and were good. But behold, the days of our life, if a man has lived many, there are 60 years and 10. And if he is strong, 80 years. So I think that 80 years is like 80 years. If he's strong, he'd live. And 80 years and 10 is like what? 70 years. So, yeah, man usually lives 70 years, and if you're strong, he live 80 years. 80 is like, okay, you live a good, strong amount, but dudes had goals, When I was little, I used to think I'm live to up to 120, up 140 even. That's not nothing compared to our ancestors, and let me tell you, that's not nothing compared to the coming generation. Because they look gonna live longer than our ancestors. Not to get into too many scriptures, but Adam didn't even live a day, because a day to the Most High is 1,000 years. He lived like 900 something days. Our descendants of the righteous are going to live days and days and pretty much eternity. Maybe even ourselves. I don't know so much. Let me continue. Verse. Okay, I'm gonna say years and 10, and if he is strong, 80 years, and those evil and there is no peace in the days of this evil generation. And in that generation the sons shall convict their fathers and the elders of sin and unrighteousness, and the words of their mouth, and the great wickedness which they perpetrate concerning their forsaking the covenant which Yahuwah made between them and him, that they should have preserved and do all his commandments and his ordinances and all his Torah without departing either to the right hand or to the left. For they have all done evil, and every mouth speaks iniquity. All their works are uncleanliness and abomination, and all their ways are pollution, uncleanliness and destruction. Behold, this is verse 18, behold, the earth shall be destroyed on account of all their works, and there shall be no seed of the vine, and no oil, for all their works are altogether faithless. And they shall all perish together, beasts and cattle and birds and all the fish of the sea, on account of the children of men. And they shall strive one with another, and the young with the old, and the old with the young, and the poor with the rich, and the lowly with the great, and the beggar with the prince, on account of the Torah instruction. And the covenant, for they have forgotten the commandment, the covenant, the feasts, the months, and the Shabbats, and the Jubilees, and all judgments. They shall stand swords and war to turn them back into the way. But they shall not return until much blood has been shed on the earth, one by another. When I read that, I was like, I'm getting emotional reading this, They're not going to turn back even though they shed each other until too much blood been shed, because some motherfuckers just gotta die. And they're hard to kill, and they're going to be, what do you call it? Like hard-headed. And they just going to have to die, and the righteous going to have to destroy them, pretty much. I can see that. Let me continue. Oh, where did I... Verse 21. Okay, and I'm going to read up to 32. I'm on verse 21. And those who have escaped shall not return from their wickedness. And those who have escaped shall not return from their wickedness to the way of righteousness, but they shall exalt themselves to deceit and wealth, that they may each take all that is his neighbor's. Wow, so those who escape and shit, they not gonna go back to righteousness. Like, you escape from something, you're humble, you almost die. No, they're gonna become famous and want to take everything that's their fellow man's. Okay? Take all that is their neighbor's. And they shall name the great name, but not in truth and not in righteousness. And they shall defile the Holy of Holies with their uncleanliness and the corruption of their pollution. And the great judgment shall befall the deeds of this generation from Yahuwah, and he will give them over to the sword, and to judgment, and to captivity, and to be plundered and devoured. And he will wake up against them the sinners of other nations, who have neither mercy nor compassion, and who shall respect persons of none, neither old nor young, nor anyone, for they are more wicked and strong to do evil than all the children of men. The children of Adam, that's the children of men. And that's not every human. Oh, this is crazy. And they shall use violence against Yasharah, and transgression against Yaakov, and much blood shall be shed upon the earth, and there shall be none to gather and none to bury. In those days they shall cry aloud and call and pray that they might be saved from the hand of the sinners, the other nations, but none shall be saved. And the heads of the children shall be white with gray hair, and a child of 3 weeks shall appear old like a man of 100 years, and their statutes shall be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. And in those days the children shall begin to study the Torah, to seek the commandments, and to return to the path of righteousness. And the days shall begin to grow many and increase amongst those children of men, till their days draw nigh to 1,000 years. And the great number of years than before was the number of days. And there shall be no old man, nor one who is satisfied with his days. For all shall be as children and youths, and their days shall complete, and live in peace and in joy. There shall be no Satan, nor any evil destroyer, for all their days shall be the days of blessing and healing. And at that time Yahuwah will heal his servants, and they shall rise up and see great peace, and drive out their adversaries. And the righteous shall be thankful and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and they shall see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies. So the righteous are going to rise up and chase away their enemies. This is in the coming days, in the future, and then everyone's going to be satisfied for their days, and there's not going to be nobody longing for days. There's nobody going to be satisfied with their days. Nobody. And they're going to live thousands of years. This is crazy. Just rewind it, because I ain't going to rewind myself. I'm doing this as a message only. And their bones shall rest in the earth, and their ruach, their spirits, shall have much joy. And they shall know that it is Yahuwah who executes judgment and shows mercy to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And do you, Moshe, write down these words, for thus are they written, and record them on the heavenly tablets for a testimony and for the generations forever. That was Jubilees 23 verses 11 and 32. You said it yourself, like Moses. It said Moshe be the one to say it, right? So motherfuckers can debate and say if it's Moses, not Moses. Oh, it's from the white Christian church. Well, fuck y'all. The spirit. You can read this and the spirit just. My bad. Excuse me for the language, but you read this and the spirit is flowing through you, and it's real. The words are true. And if you want to go technical into it, just read the book of Jubilees and it'll line up with Torah, which is, the books that Moses wrote. Apparently Moses wrote them too. Probably Jasher too. Besides Enoch. Enoch wrote Enoch, of course. And I will be the one I will separate from the Torah, Enoch. But Enoch is spoken of in the Torah, and he said he's gonna do this, and you just read it for yourselves. But I hope this was an excellent, wonderful message. Please enjoy the rain and the birds and the plants and lemon juice. Peace, shalom, peace.